Don't you
There
know, like,
you
with
are. Oh,
don't you know, like, with sports, like, "Go, go, 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 go." No, you didn't hear me?
no, I just don't get out much. I mean, there's a reason for it, right? Like, how are you, man? It feels like it's been forever. Mike King took over the show last week. Um, I'm really getting into this whole people hosting my show because I sat back and ate a sandwich and everything went great. So I'm like, I'm on to something. Then Mike King was like, "Hey, that was so good. Can I do it every week?" And I'm like, "No, I gotta be on
Wait,
there sometimes, dude." I was like, "Yeah, that's what he told me." I was like, "Dude, that's flattering. Like, that's great." So I'm loving it. It's just so much fun. And today, gosh, I cannot wait for our guest today. So we gotta get rolling. I'm
we
so
do.
excited.
We absolutely do. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get the party started. Ha! Let's get the party in
All
here.
right. Hey, full
So talk to me,
disclosure, while
Goose.
nobody's watching yet. So I do have the flu, so I'm goofier than normal, but I think most people are okay with that. So I just had to get a big shout out to my little hillbilly Emma. Turned 5 2 days ago. The reason I'm sick today, still love you. She is the sweetest thing ever. Um, she just tries to give everybody everything away, and she just loves everyone, and she is just the sweetest little thing. So, told her I'd put her up there. She asked, and told her all the hounds told her happy birthday, and she wanted to know who. So I had to read like 90 names to her. So she absolutely appreciates you, and also for the hounds. You guys sending me thank you cards and all these different stuff it just blows me away, man. It makes my day. It's not easy to be sick and do stuff, but I show up because you guys show up for me, man. And Sia, you're no exception. You do this sick and all kind of stuff, and we appreciate it, man. We're a team, and just love everybody so much, man. I appreciate you. So yeah, Emma says thank you.
Oh, well, we love Emma. So I was trying to I apologize. Emma, you rock, girl. We love you. She's so cute. And I know she stole the Tausi and everything. So more power to you,
Yeah,
beautiful girl.
she loves her
Absolutely.
Tausi. Yeah.
Good, 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 good. And there's nothing better than the kind of love that your children will give you in sickness. So, to me, if your child like gets you sick, it's because you've been loving on them a lot, right? Right.
Yeah. Well, and I see why some animals eat their young. That's why they're so cute because we wouldn't keep them around if they wasn't so cute with all the crap they do, right?
Yeah,
So,
right?
yeah,
Right, right.
right.
So, all right. So, let's go ahead and let's roll the intro here because
Yeah,
I will tell you why I'm a little panicked at the moment, but I'm laughing at the same time. So, let's do this, my friend.
let's do it.
Are you looking to grow your business and your mindset alongside a fun and awesome pack? Grab a chair and your favorite beverage and join Mike Ashebrainer, the business mechanic, and his win-win network for the Hounds of Business Happy Hour.
How you got me
Woo,
nervous?
woo.
So what's
Why?
going on? Talk to me, Goose.
So, okay, you're gonna love this. I just got locked out of LinkedIn just now. So, I've been getting these weird ass notifications from LinkedIn saying, "It looks like you're logging in third party platform." I'm like, no, I'm not. And you better correct that shite right now." And they're like, "Oh, well, just click on this OK button and just don't do it again." And I'm like, "No, you're gonna not boot me out, and I'm not doing anything wrong. So don't penalize me for something I did not do." I think I just realized what happened. So I have a production server that I have that does have access to the internet, and that server is only dedicated to video editing. Like that's my powerhouse. That's why I can do rendering videos faster, quicker, all that good stuff, right? Well, when I do a lot of these like productions, I don't want to slow down this machine that I'm currently on. So I've started commenting on LinkedIn, for example, on that server. Well, apparently, if I'm still logged in on the laptop and I'm on my server, I'm wondering if it's thinking that it's like different machines fighting
Oh,
each other what on my profile. So
yeah,
I
we could
think
talk
that's
about
what's
that.
happening.
Yeah, there's all
Yeah,
kind
no, it's
because they're go ahead.
yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I didn't even think about it. I just assumed like in my head, I'm like, we got the same IP address. What difference is like what machine it is? The IP address is the same, but the MAC address is incorrect. And that's where the challenges are and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I get it, but it's just funny because now I'm locked out of LinkedIn right now. So I'm locked out. No comments
Oh
from the
no.
Sia.
So the wonderful Sia
Sorry,
is,
kids.
in jail because of permanent cookies or something. So, I we'll do a GoFundMe. We'll get Sia out of jail, but in the meantime, just go to brilliantbeanmedia.com, and you can find her everywhere else. Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, let's run through because it's been a couple weeks since we got to, showcase some ongoing things and some wonderful hounds and friends of hounds. So let's go through it because I cannot wait to get to my guests, man. Oh, I'm so pumped.
No, I hear you on that too. So let's go ahead and get like the chats are starting to build up. So I'm going to pull up the chats too. And by the way, Zen Sandwich, Mr. Mark Reed wants to know when he can host a show, apparently.
Hey, anytime you want, brother, man. When other people
Oops,
do the
wrong one.
show, my ratings go. Remember Chris was like, "Mike, you have something to say?" I said, "No, because my ratings will go down." Keep going, brother. Good job, right? Alright. So,
All right.
age well. Alright, the age optimizer, Al Layman. Look, I'm 42. It's like I really do need to start counting my cholesterol and eating Cheerios and taking walks. And this guy, I have built an organic friendship with this man. Uh, I finally got his book, and man, it's just down to earth. He's an endurance athlete, uh, big old heart, good guy. And he's just out there helping people as we get older. Especially when you build a business, it's hard, man. We don't have time for it and all this stuff. And he makes it simple and baby steps. And the guy's just practical. He lived a whole life of figuring these things out. So go check him out. I think there's a special right now until 5 days before Christmas. So go check him out if you're looking to do better. I mean, again, what's the point of having money and time if we can't play with the grandkids, and enjoy life and go travel the world or whatever it is. So this guy, I just, hey, I've known him for a while. I appreciate you, Al. Uh, Go get that book. It's full of good stuff, man.
Absolutely. And by the way, like I don't know if anyone's been following Al. You need to go follow Al. I did not know he plays. Oh shoot. Al, I forgot the name of it. Darn it. Can you write it out for me? And he is in the audience, by the way. So I probably should just throw down here. What the heck? Hello. Okay, he plays this thing. I thought it was a marimba, but I think it's made with metal. So it's got more of a like an ethereal, like metally, earthy, not earthy, but spacey sound. Al, save me. What's an instrument
Is
called?
xylophone?
No, it's kind of like xylophones tend to be like flat one, and then the marimba has like multiple, like almost like a piano keyboard, but it's made out of wood. But his is vibraphone.
There it
Yes. Wait,
is.
wait, wait. We got to applaud the vibraphone.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. But anyway, guys, check it out. He's doing series of beautiful music, and please, please, please check it out. So everyone, follow Al because it's pretty damn cool.
Oh, Adriana's here. Hey, it's good to see you. Look at all these hounds and people. It's amazing. All right, I gotta focus. CJ, Dr. Constance Leland. She is man, the hounds just they write more books than I've read. That's sad. That's why I got Al's book and all these other books. That's what I'm gonna do next week. But hey, follow Dr. Constance Leland. She is chock full of great stuff, man. Leveling up. She's brilliant. She's got what 5,000 PhDs, and she uses them in real life to help us. And she does this stuff. She just doesn't teach it. So go to her profile, scan this QR code. I don't have many details, but that's what she posts about. So go ring the bell, follow her. She gives away a ton of free information, man. I love it. She wants to push people up, and gosh, man, I appreciate you, Dr. CJ. All you do, you ladies rock it. You kill it, man. So make sure you go to her profile, stay in the loop. And I think not just to buy the book, but they're always looking for authors to be in the book. And
Yep, she's looking.
always,
Yep, call for authors. Yep.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's up there. I told you I had flu brain, so my brain's even shrinking more. But yeah, these folks, man, you got to follow and connect. These are winners, huge hearts. Love what you do, CJ, Nicole, the whole gang over there, Susanna, and it's just amazing. So thank you. Um, Gosh, and maybe one day I'll read a couple books and then might write. Who knows?
Mike, I
Baby
mean, if
steps.
you're going to learn to read, anthologies are the best. They're all short little nuggets of wisdom that all these people, some that you know, some you don't know, take advantage of the anthologies, dude. It's like bite size. Literally, it's like reading and not implying the content is worthy of the toilet, but I'm just saying, if you're just stuck in there for a few minutes, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. It's got some reading material. That's all.
You mean
For
outhouse,
you.
but that
For
was
you.
nice. Yeah, you mean out there's no bidet in
Yes.
my outhouse, yeah.
Oh, you need one, man. Bidets are the best. I'll say
You
it right now,
think?
bidets are the best. If you
Look,
don't have it, you need it. So
Mark
speaking of what
Reed's
else you need,
Mark Reed chime in on the bidets because he's in Japan. All right.
Yeah,
Um,
the best.
just want to spotlight some newer hounds, man. They either got their show up or they rebranded and they're taking a new level. So everybody go follow Isabel Fortin. She is working that and she got help from the Sia, right? The amazing Sia, Brilliant Beam. So she is launching in different directions. You check her out. She has such great folks, such great stories. I mean, I can see why people are drawn to her content. It is fun to watch. Love seeing hounds work together. So make sure you go see Isabel, follow and follow her page. Who else we got? We got a couple more.
Yes. So, hey, heads up, by the way, Isabel, love her to death because every single time she talks to me, apparently Oscar, her dog, knows about it, and he's a Dalmatian, decides to go potty. So
Really?
I don't, I don't think he loves me as much as I think I love him, but whatevs. I love
He's a
you though,
pony.
Isa. I know he is. He's ginormous.
Yeah.
I
I
know.
was like, "Do you walk him or do
Yeah,
you ride him around?" She's like, "I walk him." I'm like, "Okay." Um,
I
Christine
know.
Bell, Snappy Chats. I told her to extend to 30 minutes, and she says, "Well, it kinda defeats the purpose of being Snappy Chats, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you got it." But, she's gonna have a surprise guest. Watch her profile, follow her because she's working on something pretty fun and big. Go follow Christine Bell. Happy to see her. All kinda hounds were on there the other day, non-hounds, friends of hounds. It's just good stuff, man. You don't have to be a hound. Just go watch good people do great things. Love it. Thank you, Christine.
So just a
And
side note here, she is in the chat. And so everyone that we've mentioned so far is literally in the chat. So everyone in the chat, you better be exchanging info. Like share the
network.
digits everyone, and connect with everyone, whether you're on YouTube and or LinkedIn. Please, please, please.
Yeah, no, thank you for
So,
that. This is your show. Network, talk to people, follow. Don't pitch slap with a P, but just go out there and ask questions, man. Ask good questions. I mean, we'll do our best to come to it. But yeah, this is everybody talks about viral posts. Let's viral comment, man. Let's make things happen. Real people. All right. Oh, Nicole, Nick, never in control. All right, so friend of the hound, right? Aaron Gibson. Like the guy, he's stellar dude. They're gonna have a celebration 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, go over to Nicole. She's gonna be posting about it. Go follow Nicole Angai Galindo, also known as Nick, and do a Christmas Eve party, right? I'll probably tune in. So oh, and by the way, I had no idea that she could pull off an elf costume like that. Like that you missed your calling. So good for you. I appreciate you. Um, and again, I love it because her audio room is banging too. So Sunday at 9:30 AM in the morning, or is it 10:30? Y'all messed me up now.
uh, hers is 11 p.m. Eastern Standard. Like she's doing a party right before the clock strikes midnight for East Coast.
No, I mean her audio room. So go to her page
Oh,
because
the
you all
audio oh, dude, that's like 8:30 in the morning my time, so 9:30 yours. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, her
Yeah,
audio
yeah. No,
room
I'm
is
sorry, missed
bumping.
that one.
No, it's fine. So, guys, just go follow her. She's chock full of goodness and good stuff and anthologies. And I mean, dude, it's great. So, appreciate you, Nicole. Thank you for being so supportive and pushing up so many hounds, man. Y'all, seriously, I do feel like a poor kid waking up at Santa's workshop every day because of this kind of stuff. All right. And headbands and handkerchiefs. Handkerchiefs. See, I should have made that's why I asked you to do this because you know I couldn't read this. Um, Deb Curtis, oh man, SBA people wanting to buy businesses and live the dream of entrepreneurship. This is the lady to go to. This was a fun show. She just had her first one recently. What last week or was it this week?
Actually, it's her second, so they're gonna have their third one, tomorrow, actually. And,
Sweet.
God, you guys, they're freaking no BS. Like, when they say no BS business buying banter, no BS on that. There are times where I'm like, "Remember you're on LinkedIn and YouTube, and now they're gonna be on X, and they're gonna be on Insta, and they're gonna be on Facebook." So they're on every platform. So and just a friendly, what's that? Public service announcement. Don't swear because different platforms have different policies on swear words.
Right. And gosh, I'm surprised I haven't been banned. I'm good because yeah, I'm like a sailor. So everybody go check her out, and it was chock full. It was entertaining somehow too. Like it wasn't like boring info. It was fun and it was like super informative. So, Deb, love it, and keep helping people because people want to live a dream. They need help getting it done. A lot of people want to start their own business. But buying one that already
100%.
works is actually better, and go see Deb, man. If she can't help you, she knows people who can. Just have that conversation, all right? So, is that it, or we got more? We got more, don't we?
Yeah, Mike, we've got more.
Oh, look at that. Look at Mr. Mark Reed, our favorite little guy.
Look at oh, wait, we gotta do the applause just for Mark Reed because he feels like he never gets love.
Mark Reed. Zen Sandwich. So Zen Sandwich podcast, unbelievable. Make sure you go to Raquel, man. She has the best guests, best stories. Saturday. What time is it this Saturday? You know yet?
Uh, Mark, I think it's still 10 a.m., right? 11
Yeah.
a.m. Eastern Standard, guys. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard.
Sweet. Hey, tune into that, man. It's never a dull moment, especially with Mark Reed there. My goodness. So we love you. Thank you, Raquel, for all you do. Always, man. This
She,
is my show, and
yeah,
then Raquel's show, and now everybody's got a show. So we always want to tune into hers. Always a stellar time, man. So appreciate you, Raquel. Love you too,
yeah.
Mark Reed. Don't feel bad now. We all love you, buddy.
Yes, no, Mark, we love you, except not in fantasy foosball,
Yeah.
whatevs. But
Don't
also, hey, shout out to Raquel because her kids are actually literally as we're talking, the kids are doing a Christmas dance or what is that you people do with children when they have their end of year like dance thingy show?
choir, the recitals.
Yeah, recital or yeah,
Yeah.
for the school holiday show. I'm so bad. I don't have kids, people. Sorry. All right.
Yeah.
So we're running hell along, my friend. And one last one. One last one. Ready? Because it's the most important one because it's actually near and dear to my heart. and our mutual client, Mike.
I wanna wallpaper my shed with this picture, though. Hang on a second. Let me get a picture of it. That's too good to pass up. That's my favorite picture. Imma put that on a t-shirt. Dadgummit, I love it. Alright.
Okay,
Check.
so I will do you want to do it? Okay, go ahead. Do it. Do it.
Oh, crap. Alright. No, actually, so everybody who knows me, if it wasn't for Sia, I would be running my live stream with a Etch-a-Sketch in a deer stand, right? So, when I tuned into this, I was like, "I don't wanna hear this. I'm not a tech guy." It is really fun, engaging. It is unbelievable. Check this out. Go follow, Checkpoint Real Talk. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how Sia did it, but it is an engaging and fun show, man. I'm telling you. And you can throw eggs at my virtual house if you don't like it. But I'm telling you, show up to this. If I like it and I can follow it, anybody can like and follow it. So this has really become a success. Love Checkpoint. Just wanted to make sure because anytime we see good stuff, we just wanted to let people know about it. It is a fun show. So it's December 27th. Is that right? 10 a.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's
So
gonna be it's a biweekly show, and guys, you don't have to be in technology to understand Checkpoint Real Talk. In fact, if it's anything, it is non-technical friendly because we're doing is we're reviewing scenes from TV and movie, and we have experts that just talk about saying if it's real, not real, funny, not funny. We had a recent like I had Amica with engineered arts. I mean, come on, I talked to a robot, you guys. How effing cool is that, right? So
it's off the hook.
check out Checkpoint Real Talk, you guys. It is fun. FUN, not FUD, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt for those that don't know. No FUD. We don't want FUD in our lives, right? Right.
For any of the mics out there who's like, "What?" Alright, so wow. So we've man, I cannot wait, to bring this lady up. Are we done now?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
That was my cue. If it's just us and no images, that's our cue.
right, it's been a while. I've done this before. So I cannot wait. I feel special. It says advanced copy release copy. This lady was introduced to me by, Tanya Eberhardt, with Brand Face, and man, this is her second time being on a Hounds show, but her first time being on the flagship live stream right now, and just cannot wait. So let's bring her up, the one and only great Jenn Drummond,
Woo, woo, woo.
if
Woo,
she's
woo,
still there.
woo.
Might trace her out. Oh, she's still here. How are you today?
Hi. How are you?
Oh, I'm happy and I got the flu, but these people pick me up. I forget I'm sick, man. I love the energy. Guys, remember, ask questions, comment, enjoy, have fun here. And I said dadgummit, but I put it on a t-shirt, so this time I don't forget. Jen, gee whiz. So let's start with this. If you're okay with it, let's start with the mountaineering, right? Because everybody wants to know. I can finally say 7-second summits without stuttering around like Porky Pig. And that's because of you. So thank
All
you for that.
right. All right. Fantastic. Congratulations. It's a feat. I thought it was a tongue twister when it was first presented to me. I'm like the seven, but there we go.
Imagine you're me and multiply it by a million. Yeah. So I appreciate the grace. So tell the folks just a little background in case they don't know who you are, like what you do. And, because you're a world record holder. The second 7 summits, right, are actually more challenging than the first. And you blew that out the water. So just give the folks a little background, a little bio on you.
Yeah. So actually December 18 of this week, I had my 5-year anniversary of my car accident. So in 2018, I was in a horrific car crash that should have taken my life, and thank God it didn't. Instead, it woke me up to living, and it made me realize that I don't get to choose when I die, but I sure get to choose how I live. And it's time to step into Jen and not do this once the kids get to college. Now I'll get back to me. So I was building this huge bucket list of things I wanted to do. And on that list was climb a mountain. So in 2020, I was turning 40 and I thought, hey, I'll climb a mountain for my 40th birthday. If any of us remember back to that time of the year, COVID entered the scene. And so now I am a homeschool teacher to my 7 children, and I'm not climbing a mountain anywhere. But I was training for a mountain named Ama de Blanc. And one day when one of my little guys was struggling with his math homework, I was like, listen, buddy, we do hard things, doing that parent pep talk that we do. And my son looked up at me and he goes, Mom, if we do hard things, why are you climbing a mountain called I'm a Dumb Blonde instead of a real
Yes.
mountain like Mount Everest? I'm sitting there
Oh,
thinking,
wow.
it is Ama de Blanc, honey, not I'm a Dumb Blonde, but thank
Right.
you. Cute. And so we looked at Everest. I called a coach, kind of hoping he'd be like, yeah, no, we can't get you ready. And this coach is like, yes, I can get you ready. You should do Everest. And so he had me order a book. And I ordered a book about becoming an uphill athlete. And in the front of that book, there was a lady who got a Guinness World Record for doing something in the Alps. And I just remember thinking, I could have done that. So I called like my coach on one of our conversations. And he's like, okay, well, I'll think of something. That record's already taken. I said, okay, fine. He calls me back and he's like, Jen, I have the perfect world record. You should be the first female to climb the 7-second summits, which, like we said, is hard to say. And so I had to ask more questions. And he said the 7-second summits are the second highest point on each of the 7 continents. They've been done by one male. They've not been done by a female yet. And you would be the first. And so 7 continents, 7 mountains, 7 children. It sounds like a jackpot. I think you should do this. I thought about it. I'm like, hey, I'm in. Let's try it. If I'm going to be the first female to do it, or if someone hasn't done it yet, I'm going to give it a shot. So here we go.
The number 7 is I didn't even realize that. Yeah,
It's
that's
my
your lucky
lucky
number,
number.
right?
Yes.
So you did it. Obviously, you made it. But were you ever scared doing it? Because you put a lot of prep work into this, right? Like how much prep work did it take in time and dedication? Because you are a mother and you have businesses, and I mean you're busy. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have time to do basic things, but you found time to train for breaking records, right? So, like, were you ever scared, and how much prep was involved?
Okay, so 2 questions. Was I ever scared? Yes, I was scared a lot more than I probably wasn't scared, if I had to be honest. But you just learn how to navigate fear and you label it. Like, oh, this is a feeling. That doesn't mean I have to live by it or surrender to it or give up. This is just a feeling that I have to acknowledge and I can still continue to move forward. So fear was there and I had terrible things happen. Like I lost a friend in an avalanche. We got caught in a storm once. There's been some tragedy on some of the experiences. So it's fair to be fearful. Training was a beast. I'll tell everybody here, I was on the top of Everest for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And just letting you know that I trained 1,238 hours for those 10 minutes on top of that mountain. And so that's something that I want everybody to take away from. Like, we have these summits, we have these goals that we chase, but it's the journey to that pursuit that you get the best chance of being able to like live life It's turning the ordinary into extraordinary.
If I can, on that note, there was a life event, right, that happened. Do you mind sharing that? Because life was going on as it usually does, and then something happened that made you just go, "Oh, wow," and you just turned a dime. Is that a you mind sharing that?
Yeah, so, the car accident kind of primed me, and then I had a girlfriend that went for a run, and on that run, it was wet out, so it's like a trail that you and I could push a stroller down, and for some reason, she slipped, she hit her head, and she never came home. So this happened around the same time that my car accident happened, and you just sit there and think like, "How do I survive this horrific crash where my car looks like a tin can and my girlfriend does something healthy and we don't like get to hang out anymore?" And so really this life of ours is this gift that we have to use to the best of our ability because we don't know when our time is up.
No. And that was most impactful thing you said to me was like, it just made you think. It just, like I have a friend that's going through, he's got a few weeks to live. And everybody that I've been close to has passed unexpectedly. I mean, I was a fireman for 8 years. So this was really hard and still is hard for me. But, again, I hate to say it, but you look for the good in it, right? And seeing how graceful he is, and it helped me reprioritize things. Like, is this really that important? Like, am I stressing about something? Like, it's really eye-opening, and I'm glad you shared that. Thank you for sharing that because we don't need to turn from them aha moments or those things that make us question. We should lean into that. Even though it's scary, right? We
Mhm.
should lean into it because look what can happen. I mean, it can really make a difference, and that's why I think it's extraordinary. Um, so how did somebody get into it? I'm gonna get into business and the whole, being a mother and all of this stuff. But how does somebody get into mountaineering? I mean, if they want to do that, what's the first step they should start at?
Yeah, I mean, I think like anything, you look at what your end goal is. So, say if it's climbing Everest, and you look at where your skill set is today, and then you start identifying where the holes are and closing those gaps with things that you can do. Luckily for me, I live in Park City, Utah. So, I live in the mountains. So, I can train on the mountains. The more you can train in an environment where you're actually going to be, makes that a lot easier. When the ski resort would close at night, I would hike up and then I'd put my skis on and ski down, and then I'd hike up and ski down so that I could be in that environment. I would do rock climbing. I do different things that were harder than what Everest would be. So when Everest was there, that energy of it would be taking up space I knew. So I had to keep other things like more managed because then I'm like, oh, I got this. This is easy. This is easy. This is easy. And go forward that way.
Yeah. So we got a question coming in. Before we do that, let me close out on the mountaineering because how does it feel to be a world record holder? I mean, you're so humble, but I mean, gosh, did you just like dance in the mirror? Because I would just be totally obnoxious if I ever broke a record, except like a redneck record. So how did you feel about it? I mean, is it
Yeah, when you get to like, it's happening, right? I'm 10 steps away from being a world record holder. And in those 10 steps, it feels like 10 hours, to be honest with you. Time doesn't work the same way, it dilates. And when you get to that top, I'll be honest, you're feeling the spectrum of emotion. You're feeling the elation of like doing something you set out to achieve. And then you're also feeling that like little bit of sadness that happens that this pursuit that gave you so much energy and purpose is done. And when you're up there, you take in this deep breath, the world disappears, sound disappears, temperature disappears, there's no separation. And you want to live in that moment, but that's just something we get to touch. And then you
right?
exhale and like the life starts to come about. And then you take your soul out of your body, you throw it back into the world and say, I cannot wait to find you next. Because it's truly in these journeys that call us that we get to be the human that we desire to be.
I love that. Again, there's so much going on in here and here, right? That's where it all starts and ends, right? And and we're going to talk about this because you have a book coming out, and it's everybody has a summit in life, right? Everybody's got
Yeah.
a mountain to climb, a challenge to overcome, and that's really your calling card. Is I talk about it too. Get unstuck, right? Like start living, enjoying life. It's amazing. Um, Oh, there's Sia. Yeah, either I'm in trouble or we got a great question. Okay, good. We got a great question. Awesome. Um, so really legit question. Zen sandwich. Oh, I didn't read this yet, guys. So no full disclosure. All right. How do you reconcile being a mom and a crazy life adventurer? That is, you want to protect your kids, but you want them to explore. That,
Yeah.
that's great.
You know, I guess I'm probably going to err on the side of doing extreme than doing the sofa, if I had to be honest. I find myself as a human at my edges. And where are those edges? And when I push against those, can I make them bigger? Can I be more expansive? Because I think if we're not pushing ourselves, the world's really pushing in on us and our worlds can get small. If we look at COVID and people were not as socialized as they were before, and then COVID left, and it was hard to get back out there and be a human and have relationships again and know how to interact in public and all that kind of stuff. And we were just shut off from one another for what, a year at most? And so, really, this life of ours is always something that we're pushing up against to expand, or it's going to be pushing us down and like closing us in. And so, I'm very conscientious of that. I also like know life is meant to be lived, right? Like I truly believe I do not get to choose when I die, but I sure get to choose how I live. And so when I start living, like it's just so rewarding, it's so exciting, it's so empowering that I can't imagine somebody not going through life and figuring out where their edges are, or what they like or what they don't like, or learning about themselves. We're here to have that human experience.
I love that because my little girl is studying like the preamble and the declaration. And I looked at it, it's been forever. And it said, guarantee the pursuit of happiness. I don't know. I got real zen. I must have been hanging with Mark Reed or something. But I got real zen on that. I was like, you know what? Like, how many of us, and me included, we don't define success for ourselves?
Right.
Like, and that's what I think was remarkable about you is that you defined it. You're like, okay, everybody lives this way. I live this way. I'm going to start living this way because that's what I want to do, not anyone else. Right. And it's remarkable. And I think that's the calling card. Stop being stuck.
Yeah.
You don't have to be anything. You can accept the negative tapes. You can accept people saying stuff, or you can just accept your own self-talk. Like you can decide. And I think that's what stuck out about you the most was that you just said, I'm going to do this. Right? And did people support it? Did everybody go, oh yeah, Jen, great for you? Or did people go, oh, hell no, you shouldn't do that? Like,
Oh, of course, right? And like one of the things I talk to people about is when you have this big crazy idea that maybe only makes sense to you in the beginning, who are you sharing it with? Because my mom was not the first call when I decided I wanted to do Everest. And if it was the first call, she would have said no and probably talked me out of it, which is some subconscious tape that I'm playing to keep me small, but I'm trying to project it onto somebody else. So if I'm really going to be honest about a pursuit that I want to take on, then I need to make sure that first call is somebody that's going to help me. And so my first call was to a coach that had climbed Everest. Hey, you've been there. You know it. Here's who I am. Here's my stats. What do you think? Yeah, I can get you ready. In fact, I'm like, okay, perfect. Who do you know that's climbed Everest that's around where I live? I called those people up. I went out to lunch with them. I did a couple hikes with them. They spilled ketchup on their shirt just like I do. I'm like, we're good. Like if you did Everest, I can do Everest. And so I
right.
got that confidence. And that confidence is a different energy, right? It's not like, hey, mom, I'm thinking of Everest. It's like, mom, I'm going to do Mount Everest. Like I just met with some coaches. I am ready. We have a game plan. It is go time. And so by the time I have that conversation with my mom, there's no space for her to show up any other way but supportive. And that's something we all need to be very authentically honest with ourselves on. One, what's our goal? Who are we sharing it with and why? And how are we getting into a space that there's no space for those around us to either be black or white? You're either on the team or you're off. I don't care. I just need to know because I can only surround myself with people on my team. Gray area, exit.
Oh man, you spoke. I think you've hit so many like deep inside right there with that because even though people mean well, it's not going to help you further. It's just going to wear you down. I mean, mom doesn't want you to get hurt. That's mom doing it. So don't be talking to mom at first. Talk to somebody who is birds of a feather flock together, right? Like talk to someone as crazy as you first. I love that because we do. We get all excited. And we're like, hey, we're going to do X, and someone just craps on it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even mean they're doing it on purpose. It just means they're not there. You called other crazy. You probably have most of your friends are extreme sports people, right?
I have different environments for different things because here's the deal. If I climb Everest, now the definition of me to my mom or to my friend is something different. I've changed. And when I've changed, now all of a sudden they have to change. And not everybody's ready to change. That's why we lose friends along our pursuits because they're not growing at the rate that we are or going in the direction we are. That's not a bad thing. That's just the way life is.
Right. Yeah, I love the sentiment. It's swimming upstream, right? It's like don't go over here and talk about stuff when you know these people aren't going to vibe with. It's like me talking about building a business when I worked at a company. Everybody's, oh, you're crazy, you'll never do it, you're a lifer. And then guess what? I did it anyway. But then when
Yeah.
I talk to entrepreneurs, they're like, yeah, come over here with us. Don't listen to them. Like, yeah, we got this. You got to get to your crowd. You got to get to the people that are around you. All right, so we got AJ. We got a question. It says, Jen, if you could describe your experience on Mount Everest in 4 positive words, what words would you choose? Man, great
Ooh,
question, AJ.
that is a great question. Okay, so 4 words. Significance, surrender, team, support.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
girl. Please expand on each one. No long thing. Just
Yeah.
like a sentence to help me understand because surrender is always evocative of what do you mean?
Yeah.
So would you mind sharing that?
Okay, so we have significance first. The unique thing about Everest is that it's a significant mountain. You're doing a significant thing, right? When we do something significant, we feel good. Like life. And so when you're doing something significant and you're not feeling good, you're not doing something significant. So that's like one thing that I do. So surrender. The big thing about Everest is that nothing is going to go according to plan, but it's all going to work out perfect. And so just learning how to surrender and accept everything that's going on and still making progress forward. So understanding that that's a piece. Did I say teamwork? Team?
You did.
Team. Okay. The big mountains take big teams. I had a team at home running the kids. I had a team on the mountain running food, running oxygen, running all these different pieces so that I could climb this mountain. And so when you're setting these big goals for yourself, you're going to need a big team to take it to the top. And if you start running out of energy, you don't have enough teammates. And then the last one is support. I think it's amazing how we vibe our tribe. And you do this thing, and people that are excited about you doing Everest or excited about this thing, they come out of the woodwork. You could not find them if you tried. And so it's just allowing people to support and show up in the way that they can. I felt more love from a lady at the base camp of Everest. We could not speak the same language. We came from entirely different worlds. Her baby was waddled on her with blankets, and mine, like it's just an entirely different world. She looked at me. We held hands. We expressed this deep level of love and gratitude for each other that's always available to us every step of our journey.
Wow.
Love that. I
Wow.
know. It's like, because you know what? Every step of that journey, it's like there's a lot of like gravitas to that. It's not just like walking idly by. It's so intentional. And so, though I may have focusing right now, I'm hella inspired by you, Jen. Like legit.
Thanks.
I'm
Yeah.
fangirling, except I have to work.
Because you're the real deal. You're just like the rest of us that just, things happen, you start questioning and look, and let me segue to that because you did. You climbed all these, you broke records, and then the question is, now what? Well, you have businesses now. So what businesses do you have now?
Yeah, right. So I have an investment firm that white labels a platform for institutions that I started before I had kids, right? And then I hired myself out of a job so that I could be a stay-at-home mom. I felt guilty because I didn't love it, but then got back into the workforce. Now I am doing speaking engagements all over the world. Absolutely love the stage and that interaction with the energy. I have a book, so I'm an author. That's a weird thing to say. I have a book coming out soon, and I run retreats and different challenges for people to help them stay resilient in their pursuits.
I can't wait to dive into it. I'm serious. I'm like taking the whole week, next week almost off. I'm never off. I run businesses, but I'm gonna take it down and pretend like I'm run away and read this book and the other 500 books I'm supposed to read this year. Um, golly, so it why did you start your own company? Because you had other options, right? I mean, people knew you. You could have done a lot of many different things and sponsors and stuff. Well, what drove you to do those things? Because you didn't have to do that.
Yeah. So when I started my first business, I actually had worked for a company in college and we had temporary labor. And so I helped staff the temporary labor lines at a furniture company that was making furniture for offices. And we brought in 200 people. We begged them to stay late. We begged them to work weekends. We begged them to do all this stuff because we could not produce these chairs fast enough. All of a sudden, Y2K happened and we had to let go 200 people. And I don't know why I didn't quit. Like I was a college student. I could have quit, but I stayed there and I helped let go 200 people that were begging for their job, were sobbing about the events that they missed and all this other kind of stuff. And in that experience, I made a promise to myself. I am going to work for myself and provide a place for people to work where they do not have to worry about the security of their job if they show up. And the only way I could change that story is if I created a new one. And so I wrote a new one, built a company, and let my people run it because they were capable.
Nice.
Wow. That's good. That's the way to do it.
Mhm.
That's true leadership, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's set up the team so they can then grow themselves and develop.
Yeah.
their
And they've
next stage
taken
and
the
steps.
business into different angles or different areas that I would have never had the bandwidth to do. And it's so fun watching someone in their zone of genius. And so I get such a high off of that I keep trying to create things that allow people to play in their zone of genius. And we collaborate and better the world.
Oh, girl, that's why I vibe with you. I love that zone of genius. There's no greater joy, right? To see success from to see other people shine as well as they can in their own way.
And their thing.
Even Mike,
Yes.
even Mike in his own hillbilly way, right?
Yes.
So
Hey, on that note, because I love this combo. So there's a lot of folks that are new or trying to transition or go next level entrepreneurship and start a business. What advice would you give them, Jen, if they wanted to start a business or even go to next level? I'll leave that up to you.
I think the big thing is really having a plan, right? So knowing where you want to go, building a plan, and then like what are the setbacks going to be? Anticipate. What kind of obstacles could you run into? What's going on? And when you climb a mountain, we climb a mountain and getting to the top is only halfway. I think a lot of people build a business and they think, okay, if we get to this point, then we've won. You've only won if you still have enough bandwidth and energy and capital to get all the way home. And so every single time you take a step forward on your pursuit, do you have enough ability to get back home? And not only from a financial aspect, but do you have enough bandwidth to come back home and be a good human at your house? Or did you give everything away at work and so now your family gets everything left over? So we have to keep track of what our energy is doing, not just our finances when we're doing these pursuits. And I'm telling you, the thing that you think is going to take you out is not going to be the thing that's going to take you out. But preparing for that thing is going to give you the bandwidth to be able to handle whatever does try to take you out that you could not foresee.
Am I the only one taking notes here? Like, dadgummit, dude. All right, take a sip. I said dadgummit finally. All right. Golly. So I love this because so your book, right? And this is why I'm excited because you're living this. Like I read this and go, she's still doing this. It's not like you're sitting on a pinnacle somewhere. Like you're continuing to move forward. So can you give us an overview of this book? Like what is this really for? Who's it for? What's it about?
Yeah, it's to me. It's a book to me pre-car accident. That girl that was hustling and trying, and when something got hard, she'd double down and do everything she could to like win. And this book teaches you how to win, but to also enjoy it and surrender and find balance. Because I did not have balance before. I was scared of balance because I thought if I put my foot off the gas pedal, everything would fall apart. I didn't have a definition of when enough was enough. So then I was never enough. And that's a horrible thing to come home to every day. And I just didn't
Mm.
have these things clarified or figured out. And I was that person that I was like, I'm going to climb this mountain by myself. I'm going to get there to the top. And that's not a way to do life. Like you can climb the mountain by yourself. But I'm telling you what, when you're up there by yourself cheering, it's not that fun. You want somebody else to be cheering with you or to share the stories with, or to be like, do you remember this or that or whatever? And this game of life is fun. We're the ones who make it serious and hard and intense and all these different things. So if you start having emotions or feelings that you're not excited about, pause, breathe, see if there's another way to get this thing done, because you only get to do it once.
Dude, you have
I
no
love that.
idea how timely this, because I mean, I did, like, I made a life change last year, and it's so easy to forget to have fun and enjoy. Like, I work for my family, but I didn't spend time with them because I'm working for them, and boy, that's only short-lived. Um,
Mhm.
so how did you like, what's your tip? I mean, because I know a lot's in this book, but does your book cover business principles?
Yeah, so here's what I do. I take the reader to the mountain, and we go to each one of the 7 summits that I climbed, and we extract a lesson from that climb. And since it's in a life or death situation or a black or white situation, it's very clear. So now you can look at it, I'm like, oh, I get it. And you can start saying, okay, how does this show up in my life? And there's some questions at the end of each chapter, so that that lesson that I'm trying to hit allows you to reflect and be like, yes, it is landing. Yes, I can see that. And maybe that obstacle isn't right now, but I promise you, after building businesses, climbing mountains, and doing these different things, it's going to show up at some point in your journey. Now you're prepared. And you can say, oh, there it is. Here's what we do.
Oh, wow. So AJ got the book? Oh, man, pre-ordered the book. That's awesome, man. I cannot wait to dive into it. Thank you, AJ. Let's connect. AJ, I haven't seen him on the Hounds before. Adriana definitely have. So she always has the best questions. Thank you so much. Internal mental process. What was that thought process on the way up? That now that's you could tell Adriana's been around. Like she knows how this is, right? I can't wait to hear the answer.
Yeah. No, it's a meditation. It's a moving meditation when you climb these mountains. Um, I will like sound super woo-woo to everybody listening today, but when I get to the mountain, I go quiet and I sit with it and just try to feel its energy, try to understand its story, and just try to connect to the land so that I know if Mother Nature wants us to summit. There's times when Mother Nature's saying, no, this isn't the deal. We turned around on 2 mountains and came back because I will always respect Mother Nature. And I think in life, we always have to respect a greater force than ourselves and surrender to that and trust that the journey's bigger than what we can see and understand at this moment. So when I'm going up the mountain, I'm feeling the mountain and being like, yeah, what a privilege to be here. What a privilege to see these views or to have this experience or to meet these people or to be a part of this story. And it is very meditative. It is very addicting when because that feeling is so easy to have because there's so little distraction. So presence is just always available to you.
I have to ask this because you're so strong mentally, right? So what did you find through the process, or did it change? Were you mentally, was it tougher to grow mentally or physically as you advanced to break this record?
Yeah, I'll tell you, like most people will tell you on Everest, of the 30% of people that don't summit, 90% of them are mental. It's a mental game that they do not win. And the mental game that they do not win is that in their life, their story has been, I want to summit Everest. Their story is not, I've summited Everest and here's what I'm doing with it. And so they haven't looked past this desire to be this thing and step into what it means to have accomplished this thing. And that eats them alive and keeps them from summiting. So when you have a goal, you need to know, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What is that story once you've achieved it? Because that's the energy you need to get to the top.
So you already
Yes.
had it in your mind. You saw yourself up there, each step of the painful way, all the challenges. You just saw yourself there and just fixate on, right?
I mean, the story was written. It was just my chance to live it. Right? Like that's how I went
Mm.
into it. I'm like, here's the story. And it got to unfold different ways, like surprise chapters or little pivots that I didn't know was going to be there. But the story for me in my mind was written. And I will tell you, you have 7 children at home. You have a mental mind struck like you have never seen before, because those little people test your patience all day long, every way to Sunday, right? Like, can we trip up mom? And so when I was on the mountain, I just pretended like the trip ups were my kids trying to get me to go and lose my temper and not respond and not, the things that you do as a parent. And so it was super fun for me.
Yeah, it reminds me of, my second favorite book, The Art of War, Win First, Do Battle Second. That's what it sounds like you did. You're like, "Hey, I already won, now I just gotta go do the motions." Like, that is so and that's anybody. If you're transitioning, you're going through divorce, all kind of life. It's all summits, right? That's what your whole message is, not just for someone climbing a mountain. This is living life and having fun and overcoming and learning from it. I mean, damn, I'm just excited. So, do we have a question? Yep, we
We
do.
do.
Scott
It's up
Raven.
there.
All right. See, look at her. See, so awesome. Other than Mount Everest, what's the one peak that you would do again? Great question.
Ooh, I liked so many of them. There's so many new peaks I want to do. I'm doing an expedition in February of 2024. I'm going to go climb Kilimanjaro. We actually have 1 spot left for that expedition, if anybody here is interested in learning more.
I'm
But
busy.
yeah, the one mountain I wouldn't do again is K2. So any other one I'd probably do again, but K2 is the one I would not do again.
And why?
Oh, it's just a hard it's a mountain that spits rocks. And so it's like you're playing
Ooh.
Frogger while you're climbing and you don't want to get hit by a rock. And I don't mind mountain danger or weather danger or whatever, but when you have those kinds of things that you can't prepare for, that you have no control over, I just don't like to put myself in that type of experience if I can avoid it.
So speaking of, now this is just me because I've always been curious about this, is you hear with Everest specifically, and I'm just kind of, is it true? Once you get into with the dead zone, I guess it is, are you really climbing right over and having to step over the unfortunate souls that couldn't make it down or up in time?
Depends on the year that you're climbing to know where the snow
Okay.
levels are and know where the route is and what's going on. But the year that I climbed, it was crazy. It's crazy. Well, one, just so everybody knows, it feels like, because that person's not alive, it feels like you're walking past a mannequin. Okay, so it's not
Oh,
like that person has energy or anything like that, right? To be honest with you, like rocks have more energy than that body does. So that's interesting. But there was a guy that had died. I climbed in 2021. He died in 2019. No one climbed in 2020 because of COVID, right? So 2021 we came, and it was a guy from Utah, which I live in Utah. And he
ooh.
had gear on that like I couldn't buy because it was sold out. I mean, so it's so bizarre because most of the bodies you see on Everest are snowsuits from 30 years ago. But when you see something recent and you're just like, oh man, like what? You just don't know the story, right? Like why? Why? I mean, like the reality is, people, anybody who died on Everest is an ambitious soul, but they
Yes.
let ambition beat like the purpose. And that's one thing we always have to check ourselves on. And it's a story I talk about in the book. People over peaks. There always will be peaks. You can climb them anytime. Who you are as a person is way more important than anything you ever achieve. And making sure that you're doing good by people and yourself over any peak that you're climbing.
I feel like that is such a transferable bit of wisdom in business as well, and relationships, right? It's almost like you got to know when to stop. Like you got to know when to
Mhm.
slow down, reevaluate your surroundings, and decide, is this the right decision to continue moving forward? And I'm talking to my clients who think certain marketing campaigns are gung-ho and awesome when it's not netting any results. Wait, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt there. But
That was how you
Jen, I appreciate you answering that, because I've always, like, you hear about the names, was it Green Boots, and
Yeah.
like they've named. It's so sad to me because it's, their souls have left, but their bodies are still there, and it's like a sad reminder of, like, yeah, is your ambition and your quest for a quote goal worth your life?
Right.
I mean, it can't be more fundamental than that up there.
Yeah. And that's one thing you need to keep in check too. So on K2 in 2021, I lost a teammate to an avalanche. And you look back on that experience and you try to replay it in your head 100 different ways. Here's the thing. The guy was 68 years old, single, and doing what he loved most. He had set tons of records in the mountains. And so you sit there and think, like, for him, perhaps that was a pretty honorable death. He was climbing one of the deadliest mountains in the world, trying to set a new route. He was 68 years old. And, like, I mean, that's how he left. There's a lot of other ways that story could end for him that maybe wouldn't be as honorable. So, like, we just don't know people's stories or the whole piece of it. And we just have to honor, like, that was their journey. Where's the beauty in that? And it's our job to find that beauty.
Oh, I love that you see it that way. So, Jen, here's another question from AJ. By the way, AJ Felino the third. I just love anytime you have a number next to your name. I'm just like the third. He asks, would you agree that keeping our emotional, mental, physical, spiritual health all intact at the same time is important? All four go hand in hand.
Oh, 100%, right? Like, if you do not have emotional strength, you will not have mental strength for very long. If you do not have physical strength, your mental strength is going to start to fall, right? If you do not have spiritual strength, then they all fall apart. But what happens is when you're strong physically, it reinforces, like, I can do this. I'm doing great. Like, that mental comes around and it's like, yeah, look, I feel good. We're this high on the mountain. Let's keep going. And all those pieces play into each other 100%.
I'd imagine, like, the idea of any of that being separate is again so acute up there in the mountains of, like, no, we are so intertwined with this world that we're in. Can I ask, there's one more question, and then I'm being greedy, and I know Mike's saying only one more question, but I'm just gonna be greedy here. Did the air up there smell any different than any other air on the other mountaintops, or as you get closer to sea level?
Yeah, no, there's no smell. There really, I mean, it's not like a weird, there's not like there's sometimes no smell, but there's just, it's windy, it's cold, there's not oxygen. So you are bringing in air as much. You're like, and you're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I've got some air for you, Sia. I had to say
I
it. I had to
know.
put it in.
I knew. I saw you. He wrote it all on LinkedIn, and he did it in private chats, and he had to verbalize that. So
I'm
thanks, Mike.
I'm gonna come to Dallas just to share the air with you, buddy. All right, man. We're having too
So
much fun. I
I
love the.
know we can't wrap it up, Mike. There's two more.
I know. But
I know. Two more, and that's it. The last two, people's last two. I promise. Promise, Mike. So I want to be respectful for your time, darling. Ready? Before the climb, did you have any specific dreams or any particular odd things happen before the climb?
Yeah, when you're in altitude environments, your dreams are real. Like, everybody dreams a deeper dream. They remember them easier. It is easier to dream. It's a fascinating phenomenon with climbing. I will say, like, different mountains have different energies. So there's different types of dreams. I remember being in Antarctica and I woke up and I thought about my grandma. And I thought about how my grandma would not have a chance to be on this mountain, but because of who she was and the things that her society did, like, that moved our world forward. And then my mom moved the world forward. And here I am representing women. Like, we belong in these environments. We can do these things. And that was a dream that I had. Like, my grandma came to me the night before and said, make sure when you climb this mountain, you make it easier for the next person. And that was just like, when I climbed that thing, I climbed with so much pride. Like, here we go. I'm going to wave our flag and hand it off and cheer everybody else on.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so last one per someone, I guess the host, not me apparently. Were there times, and this is from Tanya Eberhardt, were there times when you doubted you would make it?
Yes, there was. Um, I was in a horrific storm this last May. We were in a storm for a week and we only brought a week's
Mhm.
worth of food up. So we are starting to run low on food. The storm wasn't ending. Whereas 14 hours that we were in our entire gear and had written notes in our phone that if we didn't make it, our families had messages. I mean, it was intense. And then all of a sudden, it was gone. It was the most bizarre. I'm like, are we in the eye of the storm and it's going to come back or what's going to happen? But that was a pretty scary situation to be in for sure.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
All right, Mike, I promise no more questions for Jen so she can go to sleep.
Oh,
Sorry,
I've got
Jen. Thank you
questions. I
for letting us get excited for you.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I just got a few more because I want to make sure folks get this. So and again, you've done what you've done. You've had successful businesses, and by the way, on top of all this, in the book launch and the businesses, you have kids. How many and what age ranges?
Yes, I have 17 or 7 children. I almost 17.
Woo!
Yeah.
I have
Woo!
7 children. My oldest is 17 and my youngest are twin 11-year-olds. So there's 7 kids in 6 years and 2 months. It's a busy
Okay.
household. We're going to have a fun Christmas.
Do you like kids? I hope so, because that's a lot
Oh,
of kids.
tell you what, it's
All
like
right.
my favorite part of life.
You got a ball team. I mean, seriously. So, gosh, how do you have time for all this? Like everybody says, well, how do you fit in you time for just Jen? Like you're all over the place. Do you get extra hours or like
Yeah,
how do
yeah,
you
I
do
get
it?
bonus hours. Didn't you know that once you have 7 kids, you
Yeah,
ask God and he gives you more hours every day? It's fabulous.
I
So,
missed out on that.
you
Yeah, I
missed
need
out
that.
on that. Yeah. I'm very intentional and I build my week and then I work my week. And that allows the days to unfold like I hopefully planned and maybe not. So I give some wiggle room for things, but I habit stack a lot. So if I'm watching a kid playing soccer, I'm going to bring a 12-inch step to that game and I'm going to be doing step ups while he's playing so that I'm in shape to climb the mountains. And if I have the opportunity to do a Zoom meeting while I'm on the treadmill, it's going to be done while I'm on the treadmill.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice. I love that. That is it's so practical. And I can hear the people say, well, I can't do that. Who the hell said so? I mean, again, you're doing treadmill zooms and I'm wearing a camo hat.
Yeah.
Stranger things have happened. I mean, just try it, dadgum. Have courage before confidence.
Yep.
Right? Like, you probably were like, "Oh, I don't know if I should do this." And now you're like, "Screw it. I'm gonna do it anyway. We don't have to
Yep.
talk if you don't like it." Right? I
Yep.
love it.
Exactly. We're
Uh,
good. We're good.
yeah, yeah. C has always been on that level. Like, it's just me. If I bathe, I don't bathe. Who cares? And I'm like, I don't. So, did she smile? I missed the screen. I didn't see her smile. Smiling. That's cute. All right. So let me wrap this up with a couple book questions because I want to make sure people get this pre-ordered. I seriously, either I'm gonna read this or I'm gonna pay my daughter to read it next week. I cannot wait. So, what's your favorite story in this book?
Oh, I don't know what got cut. I keep forgetting what's been cut out of the book and what's in the book still, if I had to be honest with you. But I do like the stories of when we had to turn around because I think it resonates for all of us. We have stories where we turn around. And when we learn that that's normal and you are part of climbing the mountain, it gives us permission to continue. So I think when people get those stories in the book, it'll give them permission to be like, "Oh, you know what? It even happens to world record holders. It even happens to this. So why wouldn't it happen to me? And let's keep going."
Yeah, I love that. And on that note, what do you hope your audience will gain from reading this? I mean, we touched on it, but what is because you didn't have to do this. Your life is fine, but you decided to help others to enjoy life like you figured out. So, what do you hope they'll gain from it?
Yeah, I want people to read this book and own who they are. Be like, this is me. This is my awesome. This is why I'm here. Because when you learn to have the courage to step into your authentic self, it's a different energy you bring to the game. And it gives everybody else permission to do the same thing. So these resilience tactics are really to help you stay true to you so that we can all live our truths.
Wow. Again, look at this. I mean, look at me surrounded by Sia and you and all of these amazing people in this chat. Uh, You know, when I try to be clean and speak properly, It didn't work too well. Nobody was buying it. Now I just love on people and bring value and good things happen, man. And I love that. So believe in yourself. Why
Yeah.
not? Nobody else is going to if you don't start it first, right? So last question. Um, how can listeners stay up on work on your work, on all the events you have, everything you do, your books? Where can they go to learn more about you and stay up to date?
Yeah, so I have a website, jendrummond.com. You can find my social media channels, click in there, figure out what you like. Everybody who's listening today, if you text the word Everest to the number 33777, you're going to get a little video texted to you that has the Milky Way going over Everest Base Camp. And that's one of those images I come back to my phone anytime I'm feeling like life's just getting overwhelming. And it helps me remember how significantly insignificant we are. And once you text to that, you get into our group and you will know what's going on in my world and how you can participate or reach out. But please say hi and let me know what you're doing so I can cheerlead you on your pursuits.
And let me tell everybody, that this lady is so down to earth. She is so I mean, you've seen her today, right? This is how she is all the time. And I find that amazing because sometimes fame and things get to people's head, right? And it has not affected you at all. And if it did, it went the opposite way. Like you're so giving, you're so kind. And I think that's what this show is about, man. Just showing people like this is just a good hearted person trying to make things happen. And now you're reaching back. You won. Great for you, but the whole point of what you do in your book is to reach back and pull someone else up with you. That is amazing. So that's the heart of the hounds. That's the heart of all these folks today. Thank you all for showing up for Jenn. Thank you, Jenn, for doing this because I was sick and now I forgot I was sick. I'm so daggone pumped. And that's what I mean, right? So any last parting words? You wrote this book for your previous self, right? I love the way you say that. So I always have to end on this, Sia. There's a little Jen out there, right? And she just hasn't come to fruition yet. She's stuck and she's worried. What's your best advice? What baby step can she take right now to move this needle, other than buying your book, of course?
You know what? Do something that gets you excited and makes you happy. Like it starts with the tiniest little thing. And once you learn how to do that, then you find the next thing that gets you excited and happy and just keep leaning into that vein.
Ride the wave.
Ride
Yeah.
the wave.
And if you're not having fun, that's what a job is for. For
Right.
doing stuff you don't like. Yeah. You might as well put a smile on your face, right? Like, I can always be a clown or something like I could be a mime or something. I mean, I talk too much, but hey, everybody scan the QR code if you wanted to see Jenn. Sia, do you have any last? Because you have some very great questions and insight. Do you got anything else to share?
No, I will. No, no one's leaving if I ask any more questions. So no, we're ending this because Jenn, you're amazing. I appreciate
Yeah,
your time and I just love
dude.
all your insights that you shared. Everyone, I don't normally have time to like type out like quotes from guests oftentimes, but I had to for you, and I did. I think I did like 3 of your quotes today. So guys, like team hashtag replay, team replay, guys, because this was a really, really great one to re-listen to.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you,
And
Jenn.
LinkedIn's
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you. Hey, everybody, reach out, go find her, reach out to us, brilliantbemedia.com. Thank you so much. Thanks, Tanya, for the introduction to Jenn. You are fantastic. We will have you on anytime. You're always welcome here. Love you to death. Love what you stand for. And I am so pumped. I'm not even sick. So everybody in the hounds, DM me if you just want to reach out, learn more about the hounds, get involved, get on a live stream, podcast, Zen Sandwich, man. Just reach out to somebody. Get unstuck, go have some fun. Oh, and put the damn phone down. It's Christmas. It's holidays. LinkedIn can wait, right? See ya. Just a little bit. Don't worry about it. All right. Love you guys. We'll wrap it up. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye all.
Enjoy it.
And hit. And hit. Oh my gosh, hit.
Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.